there's a whole strange shape-shifting thing going on in some Nintendo games, and I'd like to connect Yoshi to Kirby here, in that Yoshi is presented as a dinosaur, but has this long, sticky tongue that can shoot out and grab what it wants. And this is very similar to a chameleon. And chameleons also, can acquire the camouflage of the situation they're in. So, in a way, it's almost like Yoshi and Kirby also have a lot in common. But whereas Kirby uses what it sucks in, it uses it to acquire a certain shape, which then can give him powers to attack. In Yoshi, it's directly represented as an attack. Yoshi doesn't change its shape, but the eggs produced from eating an enemy are then used as ammunition to attack. So, this fluidity of one's identity is used as a strategy in achieving a certain goal, psychological aim, emotional aim. Um, and also, in a more, let's say, biblical sense, Yoshi eats a lot of apples and fruit in general, like in Yoshi's story. And because Yoshi is this sort of green reptile like uh, being, it reminds me of the snake in the Garden of Eden, you know, tempting, using temptation to eat the fruit. But in this Nintendo tale, it's told in a more psychedelic sort of uh, redeeming quality, where the snake isn't condemned, Eve isn't condemned. It's more of a eating the fruit of nature, um, and almost sort of fighting back against the king, the sort of deity god king. A lot of the final bosses in Nintendo games are kings with a crown, um, and yet there is this sort of parallelism where a lot of the enemies do have this sort of reptilian, snake-like, a dinosaur-like appearance, like Bowser. A lot of the Metroid enemies. Ganondorf has a sort of green skin as well, like a reptile, and yeah, that's mostly it. Oh, and in Donkey Kong games, of course, the King K. Rool. So there's a tale being told of one reptile side of the psyche fighting against the other reptile side, and one of them using the forbidden fruit as a way of redeeming the sort of, the king wants to make you feel guilty for enjoying the fruit. But the tale of Mario and Yoshi is to uh, accept one's identity, whatever it may be. Mm. So, and the fact that Yoshi is a dinosaur also have this sort of archaic element of it, of returning back to the archaic side of the psyche.